Hi everyone, it's Mr. Mastel back again with another story, this time from our library. So today's story is all about waiting, which is something it seems like we're all doing. We're waiting for spring to actually begin. We're waiting to be able to see our friends and extended family again, and we're waiting to be able to come back to school. So you'll probably be able to relate to my friend Ethan in this story. The story's called Almost Time, and it's written by Gary D. Schmidt and Elizabeth Stickney and illustrated by G. Brian Carras. So what do you think Ethan might be waiting for? If you take a close look at the trees, what could those be? Notice this is an Edmonton Public Library book. They've let me hang on to it. Here we go. There's Ethan's house. And here's Ethan and his dad. Looks like they're at their table. When Ethan had to eat his pancakes with applesauce instead of maple syrup one Sunday morning, he knew it was almost sugaring time. Sugaring time. Is the sap running yet? He asked. Dad shook his head. Not until the days get warmer. And that afternoon, Ethan took his sled to the big hill. It was a sunny day, so he left his hat and his scarf and his mittens at home. But the day wasn't warm. Look how cold he is, with his rosy cheeks. Next Sunday morning, Ethan's dad made a pan of cornbread, no syrup. Is it time to tap the trees? Ethan asked. When the nights get shorter, Dad asked. So do we now know what Ethan is waiting for? He is waiting for maple syrup. So these are maple trees, and in the spring, these would fill with, they tap the trees and it fills with sap, and then they turn the sap into maple syrup. At bedtime that night, Ethan thought there might be some daylight still coming through the window. But there wasn't enough to find Roosevelt. So Roosevelt is his teddy bear. Do you see Roosevelt? Right there. Next Sunday morning, Ethan stirred raisins and walnuts into his bowl of oatmeal. No syrup. When he bit down on a walnut, he discovered something. My tooth is loose, he said. His father inspected. I expect it will fall out before long. How long? Asked Ethan. About as long as it takes the sap to start running, Dad said. Now Ethan had two things to wait for. His tooth and the sap to start running. And here he is wiggling his loose tooth. But the days were still cold, and the nights were still long. And his tooth would not come out. The next Sunday morning, Ethan's dad made eggs and toast. Ethan tried not to think about the maple syrup in the afternoons when he slid down the big hill, or when he turned on his lamp at night, or when he wiggled his very, very loose tooth during school, until his dad was waiting when he got off the bus. "How's that tooth?" he asked. Ethan smiled to show him. "So is the sap going to run now?" asked Ethan. His dad smiled to show him. It's time. Every afternoon that week, and all day Saturday, Ethan and Dad hauled buckets of sap from the trees and tended the fires beneath the pans. So this is where they put the sap, and they turn it into maple syrup. As the sap boiled and boiled, so boiling helps make it happen. And early on Sunday morning, when there was already a little light in the sky, Ethan poured sweet maple syrup on his pancakes. And there he is. He just finished enjoying his pancakes with the fresh maple syrup. And there's Roosevelt eyeing some maple syrup. So that's the end of the story. Ethan had to wait quite a while, but in the end, he really enjoyed, I think, helping his dad and enjoyed all that maple syrup. So we just have to keep waiting, and things are going to get better, and we'll be able to see each other once again. So take care of yourselves and have a great long weekend, and I'll catch you next week with a new book. Take care.